In the small town of Elderton, whispered legends spoke of Hollowbrook Mansion, an abandoned behemoth standing at the edge of the dark timberwood forest. Stories of creaky wooden floors, cobweb-covered furniture, broken windows, and eerie dim lighting filled every child with dread. Overgrown vines curled up its cracked walls, and mysterious shadows seemed to move just out of sight. Every Halloween, braver spirits would dare each other to get closer, but none truly ventured inside. That is, until this year. A group of teenagers, Megan, Jason, Lily, and Tom, decided it was time to face the fears that had haunted them since childhood. Armed with nothing but their phones and flashlights, they arrived at the mansion on a fog-laden night, the moon casting an eerie glow over the desolate structure. Their hearts pounded with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As they pushed open the heavy front door, it creaked loudly, sending shivers down their spines. The foyer greeted them with a draft of cold air and the musty smell of neglect. Cobwebs clung to the corners, and the floorboards groaned underfoot. "Guys, this place is seriously creepy," Lily whispered, clutching Jason's arm. Her eyes darted around, catching sight of moving shadows that seemed to dance just out of the reach of their flashlight beams. Undeterred, they pressed on. Each room they entered seemed more unsettling than the last. In the parlor, an old piano stood silent, its keys blanketed in dust, the remnants of a bygone era. Suddenly, a door slammed shut behind them, and the teenagers spun around, their flashlights bobbing erratically. "What was that?" Tom asked, his voice trembling. "Probably just the wind," Megan replied, though it sounded more like she was trying to convince herself. As they climbed the grand, creaking staircase to the second floor, the air grew colder. In one of the bedrooms, they found an old, cracked mirror. As Megan peered into it, she gasped. Reflected behind her was a faint figure, translucent and ghostly. She whipped around, but the figure was gone. Her friend stared at her, eyes wide with fear. "I saw something," Megan insisted, her voice barely above a whisper. They continued their exploration, fear gripping them tighter with each step. Eerie whispers seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, growing louder as they ventured deeper. The lights from their flashlights flickered, casting erratic shadows that played tricks on their minds. In the attic, they found a room filled with old, dusty furniture. As they entered, the door slammed shut with a deafening bang, and the room was plunged into darkness. The sound of footsteps approached, but they could see no one. Panic ensued. Their flashlights flickered and went out one by one. The oppressive darkness was broken only by the faint glow of the moon through a cracked window. "We need to get out of here," Jason shouted, but every attempt to open the door failed. It was as if an unseen force held it shut. Suddenly, a draft of icy cold air blew through the room, and they heard a whisper clear as day, "Leave." With a surge of adrenaline, Tom slammed his shoulder against the door. It flew open, and the group tumbled out, racing down the staircase and out of the mansion. Outside, the fog had thickened, but the sight of the moonlit clearing was a beacon of safety. They didn't stop running until they reached town, breathless and trembling. Hollowbrook Mansion stood silent once more, its mysteries preserved, waiting for the next group of curious souls daring enough to seek them out.